him that I was able to have so much success in this industry, guys. You know, all over the world, people know him as the millionaire mentor, but do not know that definitely a highly sought after, well respected, well connected coach, mentor, and speaker who's been able to help thousands of people around the world grow in their business, grow in their life. You know, with just a high school education guy, he's been able to do some amazing things. And one of those amazing things that he's been able to do was pave the way for us right here at My Daily Choice, hitting the rank of 50K affiliate in his first 30 days. But not just that, guys. He was able to hit the rank of 100K affiliate in his next 30 days. So when I tell you he's absolutely breaking records, and he's doing it because he is an amazing leader, he is a servant leader, and he is going to serve us this morning for our training. So I'm going to go ahead and move on out of the way and bring to the line none other than the millionaire mentor himself, Mr. Jason L. Scott the First. Mr. Scott, take it away, sir.
Miss Nikki Alexandria, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey, guys, listen. And you can see if you can make a few other people the co-hosts so they can help you in the process of adding people to the call this morning. Thank you so much. Also, to each and every one of you guys who logged on to the call, I want to say congratulations and welcome. I actually had to pull over today to do this call. I had an early morning meeting here. As you guys know, there's a Super Saturday event that's happening here in Atlanta, Georgia today, with some of the top leaders that's in the company that's going to be here today. So I'm actually here, but I also had an early morning meeting. I'm just walking out of that. Damon asked me to do the call today because he's absolutely flying this morning, and Candacebury Davis is preparing for the event. But that's the thing about what I want to talk to you guys about today, which is about your personal leadership, right? Everything that happens in this moment is designed to help grow your organization, help grow you, help put you in a position of leadership. When we want to go to this next level of success, it's really about that leadership. And I appreciate you, Ms. Nikki Alexandria, for just being that prime directive of leadership. You're always making sure that you're hosting, you're calling, you're mentoring, you're teaching. You started off as a great mentee in the past, but now you've gone on to become a great mentor to many people, not just here in the U.S., but all around the world. So I congratulate you on your success that you're having as well. All right, so thank you so much for hosting the call this morning. And guys, as you know, we are absolutely here, a part of this Project 100K. And this Project 100K, we absolutely launched this right at the very beginning of August, right? No, July, yeah, August. August 1st was our first official day. July, myself and my organization, we actually did a pre-launch, right? We did a pre-launch right in July. And we did it in July because, like many of you, and again, as I tell you the story, many of you may relate to it. I was in a situation and a challenge where something had to happen and I couldn't wait another 30 days. See, I already had been in many challenges in my life before, and I recognized those challenges. And because I recognized those challenges and what could happen by not being ahead of those challenges, I could put myself back into the same situations and places as before. Guys, my name is Jason L. Scott the First. I'm originally from the projects of the Bronx, New York, and all my life, like everybody else on this call, I've always believed that I was truly destined for something great. Have a high school diploma, no degree of any type, but been able to earn amazing income, working for myself, working from home, because I've been mentored by people who've done it. Hey, welcome, England. And for years, guys, I've been taking that mentorship to heart. See, mentorship, write this down, mentorship is wisdom without waiting. Mentorship is wisdom without waiting. And unfortunately, when it comes to the success that we need to have in this industry or in this business, most people, we come to the table not really set to be mentored and coached, even though we will literally act for a mentor or we will act for a coach. And then when a mentor or coach comes into your life and they give you the instructions or give you the directives, or they'll actually give you the steps to take, what we typically like to do is try to take the shortcut. We try to figure in our mindset what's easier for us. Well, I hear what you're saying. I don't really want to do it that way because the people that I know and how I normally roll, it's easy if I do it this way. And then when you start doing that, then you get people involved that they start saying, then you start telling your story about how, because they'll recognize that when they get on calls and trainings, there may be one set way of how to do things that people are talking about. Then they get on your calls and you're talking about another set way. So in their mindset, they believe, okay, well, I guess it doesn't really matter I can come up with my own set of way. And instead of just following the mentorship or leaders of people who've already had the results. See, when I say mentorship is wisdom without waiting, I've learned that if somebody has had the results that I want to have, I don't care what nobody else is talking about. I want to do that. I learned a long time ago. I had a gentleman years ago, guys. We was doing the same thing, right? And when I teach through metaphor, word pictures, and stories, right? And years ago, I had this gentleman that we was working together, and I was actually working for him, right? And I was asking him, like, George, I said, you and I are doing like the same thing. I said, you're doing like $500,000, close to $1 million a year. I said, I'm not even doing a 6-figure income. I said, what are you doing? And he told me, he said, well, I give you pointers. And I'm like, I don't want any pointers. Pointers got me broke. I grew up in the project New York. I grew up in the hood. Pointers is your thinking and my thinking combined. You give me pointers, the first thing I'm gonna do with my broke mentality or my hood mentality, I'm gonna try to figure out how I can freak it. And a lot of times what we start doing, rubbing our hands, yeah, word, yeah, I like that, I like that. I like the way that sounds. I like the way that sounds. You know what? Let me see how I can freak that. Then we always start trying to figure out how we can freak it. Because when somebody give you something and your mindset, you try to figure out how to make it easier. But what they've done many times is they've already been through all the challenges, and what you think is easy is a necessary step. What you think is the hard part, is a necessary step in order for you to get to it. That what you believe is the most challenging thing. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna do it easy because I feel this way of it, but because we've done it so many times, we recognize that's the most effective and important part in order for you to get to the next level. Write this down. I learned, and I always say it because I learned a long time ago. All right, make it a goal to earn $1 million. All right, make it a goal to earn $1 million, or just get to $1 million. I don't care if you want to get to 1 million followers. Like myself and Nick Alexander, we have this podcast that we do, right? We always talk about how to get to $1 million, but it's not just $1 million. It's the road to $1 million. It doesn't matter if it's 1 million followers, $1 million, 1 million customers, 1 million whatever. Reason why is because not because of the money, but because of who you must become in the process to make it, to earn it. You got to become somebody different. In order for you to earn that level of income, you must become somebody different than the person that you've always been. There's no way around it. See, I get it, guys, that that some people, they're trying to figure they're trying to figure their life out and incorporate this. I get it. I got like literally like no sleep. Please make sure your mic's muted. Literally like no sleep last night, right? Driving, getting up here. By the time I got stable, it was like 4:30 in the morning. I had to get right back up at 7:30 so I can get over to the appointment I had. Eyes red, eyes feeling tired. But I'm like, no, I still got to show up because despite whatever's happening in life, because I made a commitment to earn what I'm going to earn, I made a commitment to do what I said I was going to do, I must still show up. See, commitment is doing what you said you would do long after the mood that you have set it in has left you. So when I asked George that question, what are you doing? And he wanted to give me pointers. I'm like, I don't want pointers. I'm going to mess that up. I'm used to trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. When you come from a background of poverty, poverty has its own self-perpetuating logic. We're used to robbing Peter to pay Paul, put money here and pull things from here, that we ultimately don't have the right mindset in order for us to be able to come up with long-term solutions. We're trying to find the short-term solutions. When you're trying, and I get it. I grew up hungry. I grew up on welfare stamps and cheese and powdered milk and powdered eggs. I grew up on that. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I know sometimes some people don't quite get that, but if you're familiar with that lifestyle or you've been through there, you know people who have maybe been on food stamps, maybe had challenged lives. Make sure you drop some aces and some fires right now for me, because I get it. Let's say, because these are things that was necessary. They were a part of your life that showed up at the time that it did in order for you to become the person that you must become to get to this next level. Because when we're working with people and teaching people how to change their life, we can't teach off a theory. Now, the theories sound good. They always sound good, but they don't always operate or play themselves out as good. So when you have come from certain backgrounds, but it's also the awareness of how those things can control a way of how you show up in life. It can create the identity that we have, that we created about ourselves. And it's the way of how we see ourselves. The identity is the way you see yourself. But we have created this identity based off of all these things that's going on in our life. And our mindset, our identities are designed to protect us. Write that down. Your identity is designed to protect you from whether you're trying to be protected from feeling shame, feeling embarrassment, feeling hurt, feeling pain, all these things that you create this identity. That's why when somebody say, go talk to the person, oh no, I don't want to talk to that person. Go do the call live. Oh, I don't want to do the call live. Hey, do the presentation. I don't know what this presentation is. Because why? The identity that you have created or that you created is designed to protect yourself. And so in your mindset, you're protecting yourself, but it literally holds us back. It stops us from becoming the next version of who we need to become. That's why I want to make sure I start off this call by saying, if you want to help shift your identity, part of that shifting is going to be the environment. We have an event, right? In November 3rd through the 5th at Orlando World Center Marriott. You must get to the event. You must make sure in your back office there's a ticket for the event. Reason why I say that, guys, is designed to help indoctrinate some new awarenesses to help shift your identity. We got to show up to the event. Event is where decisions are made. Events are where people make decisions. The event are where a person says, you know what, I'm gonna draw the line, I'm gonna step across, I'm not going back. An event is where people see other people of like-mindedness. People are just like them, and they start to say to themselves, if they can do it, I can do it. Something about the event shifts and changes. Listen, I'm 55 years old, 9 kids, 7 grandkids, been doing this for many years, right? Having worked for somebody for 25 years. Psychologically unemployable. But everything that happened to me was an event. Even me meeting with the gentleman that I asked him, how was he able to make the income? That was an event. The event that I took him to lunch, ask him questions. They said the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you learn to ask. I'm taking notes for lunch. Lunch turned to dinner. Well, as soon as he was done, I said, I'm doing that starting now. And I started doing that immediately. And within 30 days of me barely making $1,000 a week, I was at $7,000 to $8,000 a week continuously because I followed exactly what he said he was doing. Because I wasn't just asking the steps. And I'm going to talk to you guys about steps today. But I was asking the whys. I'm a firm believer that more people are prone to do what you ask them to do when they understand why to do it. Please keep your mics muted. People are more prone to do what you, please keep your mics muted. People are more prone to do what you ask them to do when they understand why to do it. Write that down. So I like to make sure I teach the whys, not just to say do this, but there's a reason why. That's the outcome. So me asking why, when this happens, I want to understand the psychology of what's going to happen next. I'm giving that to you guys because you want to shortcut all these things you're trying to figure out. Get to that event. In this industry, you don't just get to an event. You get to an event with guests. You get to an event with groups. You get to the event with you and other people. You and 100 people will ensure that you get this 100K affiliate knocked out. You plus 50 something people can ensure that you're going to get this 50K knocked out. You plus 25 people will ensure that you get about that 25K knocked out. Reason why I say that, because each person, I'm giving you some notes, some nuggets that I learned a long time ago. All right. The reason why I say that, because when a person leaves the event, the minimum that most people can produce when they get the energy right, they'll produce about a 1K, about 1,000 in volume minimum. So if you want to get this 1K knocked out, you need to be getting you plus some other people. You need you plus 4 or 5 other people getting to the event. Because if you get 4 or 5 people, when they leave the event, they're going to definitely get this thing knocked out. They're going to definitely see this thing for what it is. And what it is that we want you to see is this. When a person joins this business, they join this business off of goals, right? There's 4 things that we teach in this process. The first thing is this: when you first get started, we understand that we have to be a product of the product. Write that down. Being a product of the product when you're launching your business is really about knowing yourself and your goals and what you want to accomplish. So when you say to yourself, these are my goals, this is what I want to accomplish, this is what I want to do. No, not just my hopes. I get it. Hope is the only thing that's stronger than fear. Fear is the most difficult thing to overcome because we've been hardwired to remember fear best. So it's great to have hope. But this calls, the work that we do is designed to put people on a platform of hope. Because once people step into that platform of hope, they start to feel that maybe, just maybe, I have a chance. Then once they go from maybe I have a chance, they start to say, you know what? Not only do I have a chance, but this is something that I feel that I will do. And they'll start to get up on a daily basis and do the things that must be accomplished, the things that they say they will do. Benjamin Disraeli said, nothing can resist the human will that will stake even its existence for the extent of its purpose. So when you start to say, I will do it, something starts to shift. And then it goes from will to must. I must show up. When things become a must, when things must happen, when it must go, there ain't no backtracking. There's nothing else around it. This is a must. Something starts to happen. That's why when you say this is my goal, This is not just a hope or a dream, or this is what must happen for myself and my family. Thank you so much, Ava. This is what must happen. Being a product of the product and knowing that that product is you yourself. Start with yourself and your personal goals and say to yourself, this is what I must accomplish. And no matter what shows up, I'm not going to allow myself to move past my hopes and my dreams. No matter what shows up. Listen, guys, I told you I have 9 kids, 7 grandkids. I have children that graduated with masters all the way down to one of my children who's been battling with substance abuse. And because he's been battling with that challenge, sometimes he's been in and out, rehab, different things going on. So all these things is happening. And when they happening, you have no idea when it happens. Well, some of you guys may. When it happens, how it can, as a parent, no matter, even though you can teach everybody the very best, you can teach all the people, all of them the same thing, but outside influences can sometimes influence. That's what influence is. All right. And outside influence can influence them to make different decisions than what you train them on, or you coach them on, or you mentor them in. And he's been battling through that challenge. That's one of those things that's just one of the many things in life that's designed to throw. And I'll say for my own personal goals, it can throw me off of my emotions for me wanting to do what I said I want to do. Because I recognize that my goals incorporate everybody. My goals incorporate the masses. Your goals will incorporate the masses. You're helping to write this down. You're helping up people get what they want. You get yours in the process. I didn't make it up. You're helping up people get what they want. You get yours in the process. Our goals are incorporated in the masses. You help the masses in return will help you. But if you can't even help yourself, leader of one, leader of many, if I can't help one, if I can't teach one, if I can't lead one, I can't lead any. Leader of one, leader of many. If I can't lead one, I can't lead any. And if you can't even lead yourself to staying on track, if you can't lead yourself to staying, because again, being a product is us. Yes, these sprays. Yes, the fuel factor X. Yes, all these other things are products that we use, and we'll talk about that. But it starts with personal leadership. And when your goals, when you say this is what I must accomplish, when asked how were you able to do 50K in 30 days with no social media, nobody talking about it, nobody posting nowhere, nobody online, nobody who's knowing how were you able to do that? We had a goal and we had a deadline. Write that down. We had a goal and we had a deadline. We knew we had 30 days to accomplish our goal and a deadline. And then we said, well, okay, so if you really officially launched in August, that meant you had to redo the same 50K again and then additional 50K. Yeah. This time we did it again with the goal and the deadline. We knew we had the goal, hit 100K. That's what I set for myself, and the deadline by the end of August. And in doing so, my goals encompass everybody else's goals. But what happens is this: because of our identity and that we have created inside of ourselves, many of us have an identity crisis. And that crisis that we have will allow us to run back to whatever situation, challenge comes up, and we will try to write it off as saying, well, you understand, Mr. Scott, I couldn't do it again because it's my son, this is my child, this is my family, this is my this. I couldn't do this again because of this. And I get it. I understand where it comes from. And people are telling me, they'll literally get mad. You say, what happened? I'm looking for you to be on the call. Well, what happened was I told you, I already told you when I first started. I told you I had kids. I told you I had 4 jobs. I told you but you also told me when you saw this, you told me that this was a blessing from God. You told me that this was the most amazing thing. You just prayed for this. You told me that this showed up in your life and you recognize what it is and you're going to go to work because this is what God sent you. That's what you also told me. But as soon as the challenge shows up, the adversity shows up. Adversity is life, and life has a key to your door. When it comes in the front door, you got to be going out the back door because you got things to do. And as soon as adversity shows up, the first thing we do is we run towards our addiction. That's the challenges of what they are, but they're an addiction. And you'll run to it because Everything that we do, you know how people they do drugs that have uppers and downers. And when you run to the addiction, you may feel, because sometimes we run to addiction because it's easier to stop doing this, to go do that, and then write it off as, well, the reason why I couldn't do it because I had to do this over here. You understand? When we really don't want to keep going, because in our mindset, we don't see the results happening. So I'm not going to continue to do this. I'm going to go do this over here because I don't got no time for this over here right now because my family's more important. But when my son hit me up the other day, when 2 weeks ago, he actually had an overdose and his heart stopped. So he died for a moment. They had to bring him back. So when they brought him back and it's processed, and then when I went to see him I went to see him, and he had just got out of jail. And when I went to go get him, he was literally like crying inside the emergency room with IVs and stuff. Oh, Dad, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I need help. I got it. I'm like, I got you. I said, let's do it. Because Dad, I need help. Now, this is the deal. He said it. And I said, I got you. But as soon as he got out, before I can do anything the next day, he didn't got out. He did drugs again. Now he got my granddaughter in the car. My granddaughter's in the back seat. He falls. His mother waiting for him to come pick her up. He didn't nod it off, pulled into a gas station someplace. He's nodded off. My granddaughter in the back seat, something. And at that point, by the time I have another conversation with him again, he's like, Dad, I gotta have some help. I gotta have some help. Great. We checked him into a rehab, but this time it didn't have to have medication, but this time it cost money. Now, the reason why I tell you the story is this. When he kept going through all these things, life be life and word up. Life be life. Life be life and word up. So I'm saying, so when all these things happen, I recognized it. And I said to myself, I got to show up anyway, because I know there's going to be a place when he's going to call me. He's going to say, Dad, I'm ready. And when he says, I'm ready, I have to have money to pay for the stuff, whatever he needs to help heal him and help him. As a dad, I was like, I'm going to need to have the income to help him. If I keep stopping every time something goes on and keep running back, when he finally says, Dad, I need help, I can't do it no more. And I go, well, I'm sorry, son, I can't do it either. I'm sorry, I can't. I know, remember all the time I kept stopping and going, and I was telling you, because I knew that you was going through this, but it was your situation, and then Kimberly's situation, and then Nikki's situation, and then Patricia's situation, and then this person's situation, and then that situation, and then that situation. So it stopped me from making money. And now that you need to go to rehab, I can't afford it. So just let me figure something out. No. No. When you set your goal, and your goal is what you know that you said. Listen, this is the deal, guys. This is what I'm tell you. I don't tell you because I don't want nobody. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I do appreciate it, but don't feel sorry for me. It's life. That's why I'm telling you the story. Trust me. Listen. It does. I have a homeopathic doctor that I see, and some of the things that she does, I see that you have this thing that's inside you. When I do some of these tests, that is showing that you have a resentment, or you have this thing. You take care of so many people. So you take care of so many people that it does something to your emotion. And she reading all this other stuff, and I'm like, yes. She's like, actually, this is so you. So I get it. Got me. It's life. But I don't want you to sympathize. I don't want you to sympathize with me. It's okay to have empathy and understand where somebody's at. But don't sympathize with me. See, don't have sympathy for me. Sympathy means to suffer. When you sympathize with me, or if I sympathize with you, that means I suffer with you. And there's a level beyond pain, and that's called suffering. And suffering is optional. And my job is not to put you in a state of suffering, because that's an optional thing. My job is to teach you to be aware. In my coaching program and things that I work with, when it comes to, I coach people in life and business, and that's one of the first things I focus on, discovery. And discovery is identity and an awareness of your identity. First is identity, is discovery, identity, awareness. And in that first month of me working with people, that's the whole thing, is once they understand, they pay attention to their identity that they have created to protect themselves. And they're aware of every time when they're doing these protective mechanisms to try to, but they think that to protecting themselves, But in protecting yourself from this right here, you may be hurting other things. But when you're aware of it, you tend to learn how to show up. So being a product of the product, knowing that, yeah, we got to use these products. Yes, we want to have a testimonial. Yes, you want to keep yourself on subscription. Yes, you want to keep, because you're in business. It's a must. All these things are a must. All these things, if you have not set yourself on subscription, do it. You know why you haven't? You know why most people haven't set themselves on subscription? Because in their mindset, it's not gonna work. The reason why most people don't set themselves on subscription is because step one is being a product of the product and setting yourself on subscription and personal development. Everything else, right? Write that down. It's focused on it. You got to understand being a product of product, understanding your why, understanding, making sure that you focus on your subscription, making sure that set your business in, set it and forget it, making sure that you set yourself on focus on personal development. All these things are number one. The first thing we focus on. That's why I can spend 30, 45 minutes on just this one thing, because once this one thing is out the way, everything else is routine. Everything, when I tell you, people more prone to do what you actually do when they understand why to do it. Everything else is routine. You can Google 4 things to do. You can look at my notebook and see 4 things to do. But understanding the psychology of these different things, when people say, how you go 50K? How you go 100K? How'd you already requalify 100K already? And how'd you do that already and stuff? How you requalify? It starts here. It starts in an awareness of the identity that I've created in the past that slows me down and stops me from staying on my routine. That I know that these are the things that must be done. And every time a situation and challenge shows up, instead of being a product of the product, I'm a byproduct of the environment. And I don't want you to be a byproduct of the product of that environment. I want you to be a byproduct of this environment. The environment will either grow you or stifle you. Write that down. Your environment will grow you or stifle you. It will grow your leadership or stifle your leadership. It will grow your organization or stifle your organization. Your environment is important. This is an environment. And the thing about this environment is people can be in this call and they'll be watching TV, they in and out. Hey, I hear what you're saying, but yeah, you talking too much. What you talking about don't make no sense to me. I'm like, I got it. Well, I'm just a 100K affiliate who started off didn't come with a group of people, didn't come with a team. I didn't come with a group that I just came from another company, and everybody that I had over there came over here, and we was able to put 100,000 in volume. That definitely not. I wish I would be at 250K right now if that happened. I wish that I was able to come with all this other stuff, Derica. You got me? I wish, Derica, what's going on, girl? I wish I was able to come. We all do. We all wish we can come here and you can sit back with your hands back and go, yeah, I'm a 250K affiliate. Yeah, I'm at $55,000, $60,000, $100,000 a month in income. Yeah. We all wish. I get it. We all wish, but that ain't happened. I had to build this thing brick by brick, getting people enrolled, people many who never reached 5K before or 5,000 or anything, many who never even got to 1K or 1,000 anything before. And many of this stuff never happened before. It's happening for people right now. So no, you're going to find there's going to be those stories. Thank you so much for muting that. You're going to see that there will be those stories that when they show up, you'll be like, oh my God, they hit this so fast. And some people, like I said, we come already have done this a while. So people tend to trust us in our process because they recognize some things inside of us. The other part is just being, you may not have the people, but you have the identity inside your identity that, whatever I say I want, I'm going to get who I am, who I say I am. And there's something about your identity. And when you believe the things that you say about yourself and you don't worry about how, you just say, I don't care where I don't know how they're going to get here. I just know they're coming. All these things start to happen for you. But you also understand that subscription, setting yourself up, knowing that I'm going to make money to pay for this the next month. But many of us don't set our subscription because in our mindset, oh, that's another bill. Why? You know why? Because what we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned to do that. I've been through a lot of stuff. I've been through the military. I've been shot with a 45 caliber gun. Somebody shot me in my back in 2000, came out through my stomach. So I have a starter rise in my midsection, but they cut me able to save my life.
That's
I've had
horrible.
hip replacement surgery. And please make sure you mute your mics. I've had that happen. I had my mother pass from cancer. I had my brother drown at the beach in South Carolina. I've been taking care of my niece since my brother passed away. Taking care of my goddaughter since my best friend passed away years ago. He had triplets. I've been taking care of my own kids, my grandkids. I've been doing all this other stuff. But when I got COVID did something to me psychologically, where it almost gave me PTSD, where I started having claustrophobia and things like in a way I never had before. Because I was stuck in for all of 2021. I was in this state where it was like in a box like this. I couldn't see. Too much stuff going on. The reason why I'm saying this is important, is relevant as I go to the next phase. And as I was meeting with a couple of my doctors, I'm sitting there and I'm already like tense. And they like, why are you tense? And I'm like, I said, it's kind of like I'm already in anticipation of this thing that has happened in my life that has even I have all this stuff that's going on, and I get it because I remember after I got shot, I had this thing. I had this thing about myself where I'm like, now I'm gonna carry a gun. Anybody can get it. When certain things happen in my life, I recognize that for a moment it changed me because these things change on a cellular level. And I recognize that when I got COVID, it changed me because it was like being trapped in a box for a year. So I have to pay attention to how it makes me feel. Write this down. We must learn to go through the motions with the proper emotions. And if our emotions, when it comes to being a product of the product, always has you in anxiety and nervousness, see this thing, and worry. See, you can have a level of anxiety. Anxiety is good. It's good to some degree, right? Because it makes you anxious. Like, I got to get this thing done. You get up and get busy. But being over anxious, too much anxiety can stop you in your tracks and you do nothing. But you got to understand that in our process of being a product of the product, that's what I said. Number one is the most important part for me, because everything else is going to run. But everything else is where most people stop. Most people can't get through step one, which is why the other steps don't work for them. And they thinking that, well, get to the good part. That's where your identity got you messed up at. Because this is the good part. This is the part how the hell I've been able to earn multi-millions of dollars doing this. This is how the hell I was able to make this thing happen over and over and over again. Multiple countries finding 1 to 1,000, 1 to 1,000. If something happened and it fell apart because of I was able to do it again because it's the same thing I'm telling you, right? I'm giving you the absolute jewels right now. Everything you need, I promise you. But no, most people, they ain't hyped enough for me. You ain't hype. I'm looking for hype. I'm looking for the secret. This is it. This is it. I promise you. On my mama, as the kids say, this is it. So one is important. If you understand that, if I gave you some insights on your awareness so that you're going to be committed to when as soon as something happens, you recognize it. Nope, that'll still be there. There's no need for me to go to that. I can't do nothing about that right now. I'll deal with that after I do this. The same way at your job, when something shows up at your job and you get the phone call and you be like, oh, what's wrong? Oh, this is going on. But you don't leave because you can't. You can't leave. Your boss won't let you leave. So you got to stay there. Then you like, as soon as I get up at work, I'm going to come handle that. But when we our own boss, all of a sudden, I got to go. I got to go, Miss Scott. You understand? My family, this. I'm like, no, it happens all the time. Family members pass away all the time, Donna. They pass away. I get it. And when they do, at the job, if they're not immediate, you can't leave. But in this business and our mindset, I can't show Mr. Scott this happened because my cousin. I get it. Trust me. Listen, I get it. There's no disrespect at all. I get it. But the same way you say at your job and you show up, and you may be crying at your job. Everybody, what's wrong? And this happened, and you still show up. You still be at your job, your boss's job. You are your own boss. And I'm only asking you because this the deal, guys, on the other side of all these challenges, man, a lot of times it's money too. The challenge and no money is what really makes you feel ashamed and embarrassed and hurtful, because it's the challenge and you have no money. Then you start to have the resentfulness and the pain of regret that you didn't do the damn thing you're supposed to have done when you had the opportunity to do it, because you asked for it. You asked God, you asked the Lord, you asked the universe for it. When it shows up, we don't do it. And then when the situation that listen, it literally will show up to help you prepare. So when the next thing shows up, you like, I'm good. But when it shows up, we do nothing. And then when it shows up, it compounds. And then we start to feel like, oh my God, why is it always so every time I turn around? I'm telling you, I get it. But we have to understand, guys, that all that is step one. Being a product of the product, using your product so they can help you with your anxiety, using products that can help you with your all this other stuff, with your overall health, your stresses. Use your products, even if you're using your Fuel Factor X, it helps with the stress of you thinking that you may think the Fuel Factor X don't matter, but every time you go get gas, you suck in your teeth. That means it matters. That means in the back of your head, that means in the back of your head, listen, give me some eights if you know what I'm talking about. When you like, listen, it really ain't that bad, but as soon as you gotta get out there, you gotta pump, it says how much are you like, you start sucking your teeth. That means in the back of your head, your mind is like, damn, these prices. Lord Jesus. We be like, yo, we be bugging out because we like, yo, these prices. So that means in the back of your head, it's affecting you. And if it's affecting you, it could be affecting you on a subconscious level. And as it compounds, it could be literally causing stress. And it could be a bunch of things that's happening. So the Fuel Factor X matters as well. If you're not using your detox, the pills, the detox, and every time when it's time for you to go poop, and you find yourself about to go poop, and you're like this, now you get anxious and you start getting sweaty. You know why? Because you know you're gonna be in there. You haven't used your detox pills, and you know you're gonna be in the bathroom like this. I said, so because you're already anxious, you're already like, oh my God, I want to go to the bathroom. So be a product and use the daggone detox. So, listen, why? If you know that's going to happen, if you know you're going to be like, what's wrong with you? Go to the bathroom. No, I'm good. Yeah, you good. Nah, I'm all right. What you mean? Go to the bathroom. I'm all right. Get your butt in the bathroom. And then when you get in, you the whole time in there, you all right in there? I said, so be a product of the product. Use the products that we have. I know some of you guys, listen, I'm on my last few, right? I'm on my last few. Be a product of the product. That's number one. Be a product of the product. Now understand this as well, all right? Let me give you this real quick, guys. Let me see what time it is. Let me give you this caveat for this number one. We're entrepreneurs and we build in network marketing. Let me see. Yep, the two capsules. Yeah, matter of fact, you guys had to use that any of the detox products. You got some results. Let everybody else know in the chat. The thing is, guys, being a product of product is also, yeah, you want to set yourself a subscription for yourself, but also recognizing this. You're going to have people that's going to join the business and they're going to quit. If they join before they quit and they told you that they use the products, quickly you get them using the products and they have some results. Now you can say to them, listen, I know life came up. I know you said this was a gift from God, but all of a sudden life came up and you got to put this to the side because you got the call about your mama, got the call about your family, got your call about your job, and I get it. So since you said this product helped you, let's keep you on subscription, because the subscriptions is where residual income comes in. The subscriptions is where residual income comes in. And whether they're from customers or representatives, we do this for the residual income. I need you to understand it. So when you set yourself on subscription, don't be like, well, I'm not gonna set myself because somebody's getting paid up for me. You know how crazy that sounds? When you literally in the bathroom straining, about to burst a vein, and you won't do subscription because your mindset somebody's gonna make money. But then you gonna go to Walmart and buy something to try to help you. It don't make no damn sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's like literally don't make no sense. What they gonna make? What are you talking about? Get the product and set yourself on subscription. So when you finally do come back into the business, you still have your position. When things are, or the sun and the moon and stars line up and everything's in place, you can get busy. So those things are important, guys. You understand that subscription is important for the long-term goal, for the investment aspect of what we do. Now, people say, one day I want to invest in stocks. Well, our people are stocks. and the customers are stocks. And as you build this thing out for a customer base on subscriptions and things like that, those are the stocks. And the stocks start to pay a dividend, right? And you started getting paid off the stocks that you're building as you're building the people. Am I making sense? Is that some good stuff for you? So number one is really important. It's a plan. It's a long-term investment plan, long-term investment strategy. It's a long-term thing that you're doing with it, other than just saying, well, I got to pay this money. It's a long-term investment strategy for your own long-term investment strategy for your health, long-term investment strategy for your wealth. It's what it is. Number two is put the list in place. This is what we're going to speed this along. Number two is put the list up. Once you put the list, I know people, listen, I know people, as soon as you start saying list, people are going, well, I'm going to just try to find people I don't know. Well, let me tell you what's going to happen when you do that. You're going to think that you're going to find the people that you don't know. And because you have not practiced and prepared yourself for those people, when they show up, you're not going to be the right person for those people either. You're not. Because you thinking that somehow, because I don't want to call the people I called before because I don't want them to think, who cares? Right now, you got to learn, write this down. You got to learn the languaging of the business. When you put your list together, it's for us to teach you the languaging of the business. That means when we start talking to people for you, you're going to hear how we speak. You're going to hear how we communicate. There's a languaging in every industry, and there's a languaging in network marketing. There's a languaging in this industry, and there's a languaging in My Daily Choice. So if we're talking about the languaging, and the language talk about the sprays and the sleep and all other stuff, and start telling about what each product, there's a languaging inside of it. So to learn the language is like we've been doing since we were kids. In the environment, you start picking up bits and pieces, and now you start learning the language. And now when you're on your own, you can repeat the language. But when you don't learn the language, and it's like going to a new country, and when you go in the country, you're there, you're looking around, and you're like, ¿Dónde está ustedes? They're like, this is France. You're like, oh, okay, that's not, okay, what was I speaking? You're speaking Spanish, but this is France. We speak French. You're like, oh, okay. So you didn't take the time to learn the language before you get it into the world, and you think you're gonna get in the world and start going, ¿Dónde está mi escuela? El trabajo. El trabajo. Mami, dame un beso. Abre la puerta. They're like, this is you in Ukraine right now. You're in Russia. We speak Russian here. You like, you guys don't speak? You don't speak Spanish here? No. You got to learn the language, so when you get into the world, you know how to speak it. Even if you don't know it all, you know enough to say, ¿Dónde está? And they go, 2 blocks, it left. You be like, okay, thank you. But you may not get it all, but you'll learn enough that you don't get lost. You'll learn enough to get to a direction, to get to a place. You'll learn enough, and then as you start getting better, when people start saying things, hey, papi, agua, you be like, oh, yeah. Dame agua. Now you're like, yeah, give me some water. Now at first you're like, huh? What you talking about? With the time? You're like, no, agua. What? Here? No, agua. Water. After time, now you learn the language. So the list allows you to learn the language. We put the list together of 50 people who we say, well, I like to say 50 who choose to lose, and 50 in business improves. 50 people that in your mindset, whether they choose to lose some weight, or they choose to lose those health challenges, or you choose it in your mindset for them. Today, somebody gonna lose some weight. Today, somebody gonna get rid of this health challenge. Today, put down 50 people.
You might get off of my back, please.
Guys, make sure your mic's muted.
They might get off of my back. Please.
Yeah, and put that guess exactly. So make sure you get the 50 people that you're going to get as customers. All right. And a lot of times you want to get the customers. That's the deal. Just so I can remind you guys. If you're here in the U.S., I'm not sure about other countries. I've traveled a lot of countries, but I don't always know this. But I know in the U.S., since we were kids, we had school where they would send us home with papers, and they would say, here, sell this stuff to your niece, to your uncles, your aunts, your family members. Sell this stuff to them, and you would come and say, Uncle, I'm selling this. Can you buy some chocolate for me? Can you buy some cookie dough? Can you candy sell? Can you buy? You were clueless since we was in elementary school and kindergarten. kindergarten, they would send us home with papers and say, sell this, and you get there and go, Uncle, can you support? And they'd be like this, give me 2 of those right there. And they would literally give you the money for it. And they would give you the money, they would give you the money, you would take it back to the school. They would see no products for months. And then one day you happen to show up and say, they didn't forgot they ordered it. But that meant since we were kids, we've been bosses. Since we were kids, since we were babies, son, we were bosses since we were babies. Go home, even if you had to go home and say, Mom, get somebody to buy this stuff. No matter what it was, you didn't have to sell your mama and your papa, whether you said it out loud or whether you said it like this. And they're like, oh, candy sale again? Damn. Okay. All right, baby. Hey, my baby got a candy sale. You still sold. Since you were a baby, you've been doing this work. I'm going in, yo. I'm going in. I'm working. I'm working over here, ladies. I'm working. They look at me like, what are you doing? I'm like, they walk by like, what is he doing out there? I'm like, I'm working, ladies. I'm working. Since we were kids, we were absolutely doing that, right? So that means it's already inside you. I'm just trying to awaken the thing that's inside you. And the thing is this, when you're getting customers, some people that's your family members, you don't want them to be in business with you. You want them to support you the way they supported you before, when they would buy stuff before, when you were a kid. I need your support. Well, I don't drink, I don't eat chocolate like that. I don't drive like that. I don't care. Get it and give it away for Groundhog's Day. I don't care. Give it to somebody else. Then I need your support. I don't care what you use it for. Well, I don't really spray like that. I don't care. Just get it anyway. You know why I know that? Because to this day, I got cookie dough in my freezer that I had in there. Matter of fact, when I get back home, I keep saying I'm gonna throw it out, but I don't, because I bought it for my nieces like 6 years ago, and it's still, they out of school, and I still got the damn cookie dough in the freezer. So I've been buying stuff for years that just be there, or I give it away. So your family members will do the same thing. Don't worry about, well, I don't know, because they don't got it. They got it. You don't worry about that. You need the support. So because you need the support, get them to support you in business. 50 people. Don't always try to get everybody into the business, because sometimes this was happening. Many of us were trying to say to ourselves, I got to get in the field, because we want 50 people to be customers and 50 people you can expose as entrepreneurs. But trying to get the 50 people who could be customers, and you can get a repeat customer and earn that repeat income. They're never going to build a business, but you can earn a repeat customer income as a sale versus them being an affiliate and you're getting paid one time as a upfront. Then everything else goes into the binary. And if you're not really building your binary, they're just money just being stored. So making sure that you say that these are going to be my customers. These are going to be the people that I want to do the business. Now, the thing is this, sometimes they'll be interchangeable, because you may offer them one and they'll want to do the other. I want to be a rep. I just want to be a customer. I want to be a customer. Well, I want to be a rep. That may happen. But in your mindset, don't go try to get your one of your family members who in your mindset who hasn't worked a job in 15, 20 years, and you think to yourself, well, they need it. They may not be a good representative, but they may be a good customer that will support you, because that's what that uncle does. So put that list in place. The third thing, once you put the list, guys, now we go build the business. Once we go build, so right then, the first thing is be a product of the product. Understand your why, subscription, personal development. 2 is put together your list of people, 50 people, 100 names and 100 names and numbers, 50 who choose to lose, 50 in business will improve your lifestyle when they build a business and improve their lifestyle as well. And 3 is now we absolutely get out here and we build a business. Part of building a business is introducing your people to other people, making sure they have access to all the resources. Do me a favor, write this down. If you have access to the resources, you have all the answers. Write that down, especially if you're brand new. If you have access to the resources, you know all the answers. You have all the answers. Reason why that is important is because it is. Most people, when they get involved in this company, they'll, in their mindset, they can't do this until they learn everything. And you will think that you got to learn everything before you can do it, and you will still never do anything because you're not gonna know it all. I promise you, I don't know. My business partners, they'll tell you all the time. My success lines partner, they'll tell you all the time. I'm notorious like asking the question, hey, what's this? Who's that? Who knows this right here? What's a good product works good with this right here? I utilize my resources. I'm a boss. Your boss at your job probably don't know your job. So he calls you in the office and says, when somebody asks him a question, like, I'm not sure. He said, let me call Derica from accounting. Derica, come on down here. What's the answer to this right here? You be like, yeah, I think it's number 2. And you start giving them the answers, and after you're done, like, all right, thank you so much. And you leave on out. And then he's able to go, listen, what the report says this. He don't know your job, but he have you as a resource. That means he knows all the answers. You got to recognize that as a boss, you don't know all the answers, but you have resources around you and they know all the answers. As long as they know the answers, then you know all the answers. That will allow you to operate with a level of certainty. So when you're connecting people, when they're brand new, make sure you connect them to other leaders that you're connected to, like your sponsors and your sponsors, other people in their lineage or line of sponsorship, people who have a vested interest in each other. Our Infinity Fast Start bonus allow us to get paid levels deep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then even infinity. So that means you have a vested interest in everybody who joins, helping them to be able to learn how to do this business. So therefore, you want to make sure that people have access to you, or you have access to them. Because you got me started today and I don't know what I'm doing. And I feel I got to read everything and know everything before I do it. And I just literally signed up a superstar. Now, superstar is so ready to go, but they don't know nobody else because I signed them up and I want to hold on to myself because I think that I want to be this big leader, but I want to learn everything first before I let everybody go. And I don't introduce them to nobody else. Now you have lost that person when this person ended up quitting and the person that could have been your biggest superstar. So make sure you're connecting through welcome calls, lifeline calls when brand new people join. This is still number 3. Then after that, you get your calendar out and you schedule your launch calls. Remember I said you would learn the languaging of the business? Remember I said you put the list together, learn the languaging? That's where. When you do the call, all you do is learn in the very beginning how to contact and invite. All right, write this down. There's 3 things that we get paid to do. 1, we get paid to sell the product. 2, we get paid to show the plan, right? So we get paid to show the product, to sell the product, to show the plan, and number 3, to build for events. So we get paid to sell the products. Again, you can make some money. You get paid to show the plan. You make some more money. You make more money, and then you get paid to build for events where you make the most money. The people who build for events, a launch call is an event. I did a launch call yesterday for somebody in Trinidad and Tobago. It was like 50 people on the call. The young lady had 50 guests on the call. She built for an event for her launch. When you build for an event, you have to build for the event. Events where people make decisions. People get a chance to get on the call, but you're learning the language. You're learning how I'm communicating with your guests. Now you don't have to worry about trying to sit back and study and read it. So I normally put together 2 launch calls. Within the first, I like to do 2. I do the first one within about 48 to 72 hours. I do the first one. The very first one I do in the first 48 to 72 hours. And I do everything in a time frame because I recognize that most people in the US are used to getting paid week to week. So I work to make sure I get them a paycheck in the first week. Right? I gave you a quick caveat. When you ask me why I work so fast and how, that's how. I know most people, they're used to getting a paycheck within. I had somebody called me yesterday. How fast can I get a paycheck, Mr. Scott? If I get some customers, how fast can I get a paycheck? Well, the next week is like a regular job. I teach this all the time. The person literally called me yesterday, asking me exactly what I just said. How fast can I get a paycheck? Because in our mindset, we got to get the paycheck now to make arrangements for a bill or something that's coming up 2 weeks from now. So because I understand that, I make sure that I'm working with people to get them these paychecks. So when I'm doing a launch call, it's designed to help them get their first 2 customers. I'm first 10 customers and 2 representatives. So I'm helping you get at least 10 customers, 2 representatives. I would love to get you more representatives, but I know my goal is to make sure I get you 10 and 2 as quickly as I can. Our job is to make sure we get the person 10 and 2 as quickly as we can. And then after that, step 4, guys, after you do these launch calls, step 4 is continuing education. Step 4 is this call. Step 4 is our millionaire mentorship call on Sundays. Step 4 is the launch calls, that the call we do between Monday and Thursday that we do when we launch Project 100K. Step 4, because he's still learning and hearing how different individuals promote. And step 4 is also you getting your people on your own personal calls, growing, continuing education. That's step 4. But as I wrap up the call, guys, let me help you understand how fast this thing works. All right. I spent an hour, but let me say how fast these 4 steps go, what people can Google. Step 1, make sure you're a product of the product. Get yourself on a proper subscription. Make sure you set yourself on some personal development. All right, set it and forget it. Step 2 is make sure you put a list of people together. 100 names and numbers, 50 who choose to lose, 50 in business improves, so we can better expose and get some customers and some reps. Step 3 is make sure you actually build your business now, introduce your leaders to other people that's in the lineage, and actually schedule your launch calls. Step 4, and then after step 3, they're either going to, after they do the launch call, they're going to buy or they're going to join. And when they join, it goes right back to step 1. Then step 2, that's step 3. They're going to buy, they join, back to step 1. Step 2, step 3. They're going to buy, they join, back to step 1. I spent 1 hour to train you on those 4 things, because after that, continuing education. I promise you, that's all it is. I know this is just so this can't be that simple. Well, my bank account says otherwise. It's not nothing disrespectful or facetious at all. I promise you that. I say that because my bank account was on E, and I waited so long on my last company that it was on E. I had to make it move. This is something it was a must that I did exactly what I'm telling you right now. It was a must that I did this. It was a must. So I can take care of my family, take care of my resources, continue to pay the car notes and the phone bills and everybody else's stuff, and the insurance that I pay for this person, insurance I pay for this, and medication I pay for this person over here, and all this other stuff all this stuff it's a must. And for many of us on this call, many of you, it may be a must as well. So guys, I pray that you guys got some good insights off those 4 steps today. And again, you get on the call, each person coaches and teaches it differently, but it's all the same stuff. After that, you learn other stuff. Contact and inviting is the first thing. After that, you learn how to retail, you get customers, all the different ways of marketing, strategies, all this other stuff. You learn all those other things. But the systems are designed to make sure that we don't do just what works, we do what duplicates. And the system duplicates. And as long as you stick to the system, you can have great duplication in your organization. Guys, I love each and every one of you. I promise you I do. Make sure you're on our Monday call. Make sure you're closing out today. Matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned that. This is the deal. This is what's really important. Listen to me as I wrap up the call. We have a few more days left to the end of the month. This is why this is important. Write this down in case you may know it, but you may forget it. But write it down anyway. Friday through Thursday is the end of Friday, the first of the work week. Thursday is the end of the work week. So we got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 days left to close out the work week. Retailing and recruiting, how we get paid in those 2 ways. Retail and recruiting, we get a person a weekly paycheck. Retail and recruiting, R&R, I call it R&R, not rest and relaxation, retail and recruiting, R&R. But we got today's the 24th, so we got 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. We got 7 days to close out this month. 7 days to hit your rent goal. 7 days to hit your income goal. 7 days to make sure that your binary qualified. 7 days to make sure you build out your money that you can get paid in the binary. 7 days to rank up and hit your goal. 7 days. Don't worry, because worry causes fear. Fear becomes crippling. But just put yourself in this mode that it must happen. I must get 1K. I must get listen, and many of you guys will get 1K, 5K, 10K, 25K, 50K, 100. The reason why you're going to do it is because you gave yourself a goal and a deadline between now and the end of the month. That's the only reason. It ain't because we got all month to do it. Well, you had all month to do it. We've been having all month to do it. We've been having all month to pay our rent and pay it late. all month to pay our car note and pay it late. All month to pay our phone bill and pay it late. Then when it's time about to get cut off, all of a sudden now we find the money and the late fee. So now you got to turn it all the way up. I went 10K in my first 7 days. I don't know. Don't ask me how. I just did this for 4 steps. That's how. 4 steps. That's how I did it. So don't tell me what can't be done in 7 days, because I did it. Myself, the leadership team I work with, we did it. Don't know how. I just did it. I know. I just knew. You know what? I was, when I got 10K, I needed that daggone rank bonus. I needed that one-time rank bonus. Because for the first time in 10 years, I was about to be back to, I already been in foreclosure, bankruptcy, upside down economically. For the first time in 10 years, I was about to be losing everything again. I was like, no. I didn't go, no, Nelly. Nope. So I got busy. And I was looking for that one-time rent goal, because I figured that extra money would help me pay some bills and stay ahead. And it did exactly that. And it will do the same thing for you. Always remember, guys, given the sum total of all your decisions, you cannot change who you are, but given new life, new vision, new unity, you can change who you become. So with that today, not tomorrow or next week, but like right now, close out this work week, close out this work month, hit your rank, set your goal, and make sure you focus on your deadline and get it done, not just for yourself, but your personal organization and your team. Let's all just become. You guys have a great and a powerful new you. Make sure you guys follow me on IG and Facebook, Jason L. Scott 1ST on IG, Jason L. Scott on Instagram, Jason L. Scott 1ST on TikTok. Let's stay connected, man. Make sure we share, and then tag me, comment, like, whatever and stuff. Let's stay connected and make sure we always stay connected as friends and support each other in our journey of success, guys. Just make sure we do that. I don't jump around no place. I'm here. I'm here because I'm here, son. The kid's here, Britt. Word up. I don't move around. The kid's here. So we're going to be here as long as we're going to be here till the wheels fall off, Tawanya. I love you guys. You guys have a great one. Good night.